Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at?
I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem?
Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news?
It's a freaking inside job, man. The entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back to another episode of the Veritas Road. Carson back here with Murph. Our top story tonight. T.V.R. Insider News recently did an exclusive interview with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, and he was asked what he does when he gets a blister committing genocide. His response was, and I quote, he puts some Gaza on it.
Ooh, nice. That's a good one, dude. A Gaza strip Band-Aid.
Right.
I like it.
Puts a strip of Gaza on it.
I like it, man.
Ah.
It's both a Band-Aid and a gauze.
Right.
That was good.
And a country that's being raped.
Yeah, that's truly terrible and despicable. But what can we do about it other than tell people that?
And giggle, I guess.
That was a good return to your little, what are those called?
I don't know.
Satirical.
Little bits, little satirical news articles.
Satirical fun.
Yeah.
So I guess I got to ask you a question then.
Yeah. While you're considering it, please follow our new Twitter account. Our old Twitter account got banned. So if you're listening to this on YouTube,
tell them why it got banned. Be honest.
Twitter. Oh yeah, it got banned for
spam.
For spam. Yeah, we were spamming too much. I guess somebody was afraid they got fished. You like talking about fishing?
Yeah, I just want to be transparent. We were spamming and we got banned.
Yeah.
So Twitter, Rumble, YouTube. I guess you can follow Instagram and TikTok. We don't go live on there, do we?
We don't.
Okay. Those are the three places we go live.
Yeah, but if you're hearing us on any of those, please follow our Twitter account.
Yes, it is.
That's the whole idea.
In the description, it is at Veritas Road Pod.
Yeah, I should probably give that out, shouldn't I, John?
Yeah.
Damn it. All right. So what question do you have for me today?
Well, we're drinking coffee right now.
Okay.
It was a good idea by you. That's why our stream was delayed.
It was John's idea.
Whatever.
Give me credit.
Inception. Somebody inceptioned me. Have you ever drank coffee and tea mixed together?
No.
Does anyone do that?
No one should do that.
Could that be a niche that we could sell?
Toffee?
Yeah.
Or-
Well, that's already taken. Could be key. We'd have to call it key. Or cough tea. Cough tea. Dude, cough tea.
Coffee. I haven't done that. I don't particularly. Actually, I have, technically. I used to get dirty chai lattes, which is.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's such a white girl thing to say.
It very much is, yeah. But it's a chai latte made with chai tea, milk, and a shot of espresso. So I have had coffee and tea mixed together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, when we start selling our mailboxes, we can send you an experimental blend of cough tea, some coffee beans and tea leaves together, and then you just like hit it with the pestle and you put it in the pot and see what happens. So that'll be coming to whoever our first 33 mailbox buyers are. What do you think? I think that's what we're gonna do.
We have to actually start selling merch first,
Yeah.
like regular merch, before we get into mailboxes.
I still think that's the best idea I've ever had.
All right, you're entitled to that opinion.
Let's get to the news, man.
Yeah, let's talk about it. This week, Tim Dillon did an interview with Kash Patel, which I'm excited for you to see. Even Owen Benjamin was a fan of this interview. Let's listen in on Tim Dillon and Kash Patel, ladies and gentlemen. If it'll load. Never mind. You have anything you want to talk about while it's loading?
Well, I mean, we spend how much money a month on this, and we get a spinning wheel
on
of
Twitter
death
Premium?
when we hit the button.
Yeah.
There's just the Twitter's just an internet problem.
Here
Here it comes.
In the government, and a lot of it centers around the FBI.
All right.
Tim Dillon show. There's clearly a lack of trust in the government, and a lot of it centers around the FBI. So here to clear the air and answer some questions is the director of the FBI. Please welcome Kash Patel.
Hello, buddy. Kash Patel here. Kash is the name and the game.
Thank you, Kash. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining me. Can you tell me anything at all about Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh, well, he was very tall and he lived in New York City, just like Empire State Building.
Yes,
Much
yes.
bigger, much taller.
Yes, I understand that. But he had this island, and, that's what we're all curious about. What the hell was he doing on that island?
Women, swimming, drinking out of a coconut. That was nuts.
Yes.
Or having sex with children.
Yes,
maybe.
but that's the part, Cash, that we're really curious
Well, that's going to
about.
get
Can you
this
tell us
stream
more
flagged,
about
probably.
This island and how it operates?
You know, every food delivery robot works for FBI. And it does.
Okay.
Every food robot works for the FBI.
There you go.
I see
Cash Patel, ladies
what
and
they
gentlemen.
see. If you block one of the robots on the sidewalk,
The actual director of the
You know,
FBI
there's
having an interview
no
with Tim
food.
Dillon.
nada,
Yes.
nothing.
The
Yes.
problem with this is, whoa, big iPhone zoom in. The problem with that is his face isn't crazy enough. Cash Patel's face looks like he got hit by a ray gun. That guy's face is too normal. That'd
That's
be my
true.
one complaint.
Cash Patel always has this wide-eyed look on his face like he's seen a ghost.
It looks like
Or
he's,
like somebody's threatened his family if he doesn't do exactly what
Right.
they tell him to do.
or if he got probed by an alien in the 1950s. He looks like his face looks like that.
Yeah, he does. Well, it's just his face during the interview. Does he always look like he did during that interview with Dan Bongino where he talked about Epstein killing himself?
Yeah, he always looks crazy like that, dude.
I haven't seen that many clips of him, but who's hiring somebody with that face? I don't know. Just ugh.
Yeah, Trump does.
It's not
apparently.
because he's Indian. It's because of his eyes.
No,
for
I
the
take
record.
issue with that. We've mentioned this before. I mean, shouldn't we want J. Edgar Hoover III as our FBI director during this Make America Great Again movement?
What, another cross-dressing, closeted
Yeah, but
rapist?
at least it was, as you have said, more believable. Nobody believes Cash Patel,
That's true.
right?
Yeah, it lets me feel better. You know, if I want to be if I want to pretend to believe in the government, it does make you feel better, I guess.
Yeah, or at least get our FBI. Our FBI director's name should be like Brad Johnson, somebody we can put faith in. You know, in an America.
Yeah, nah, you're right. You're right. That guy I feel like is as, or if not more credible than Cash Patel at this point, though. After all the that he's talked about with Epstein killing himself and all the other nonsense, trying to find the what's his name that shot Charlie Kirk, like that. This babbling idiot has more credibility than Cash Patel.
Oh yeah. He's just another guy on the stage, dude. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke. The FBI shouldn't even exist. You know, what authority does it have? Where does it derive its authority from? But anyway, soapbox over before it starts on
I was
that.
going to say, you didn't really get on one there. All right, next article.
Yeah, so I was done. I was drinking some coffee. Thought
Righty.
you were going to say something.
I was waiting for you to wax poetic about the FBI.
All right, look
giving
how
our rights
fast. Look how look how fast this happened, y'all.
What?
I mean, what did we talk about last week? They do a treaty. All right, big news. Trump is hailed as a hero. Israel's already bombing them because they've allegedly violated the treaty.
Damn it, I've got an article on this too, and I had one I wanted to talk about before it.
Oh, well, you should have stopped me.
Yeah.
I mean, look how serious these guys are, man.
They're very
Look at
serious.
them. How did these women, look at that woman with the bangs. Like, how did she get into this power? What does she do? And she's just wearing a T-shirt
What do
and
you think her
overalls.
name is?
She's
What do you
wearing-
think her name is?
Well, I don't know. I don't know Yiddish. I'm white, dude. I can't even begin to pronounce any.
Miriam?
Maybe. Perhaps. I mean, but she's wearing overalls and a T-shirt. You know, they really need to up their professionalism here.
She is wearing overalls and a T-shirt. What the hell?
I know, dude. I mean, they're just throwing it in our faces. Why do they need all those pencils? Look how many pencils they have.
They have a lot of
That's
pencils.
that's got to be at least 80 pencils in that room.
And look at that water with lemons in it.
Well,
Some nice-ass water.
I'm sure they get thirsty with all their important talk. So is this an actual picture of them bombing?
What?
Like, are they bombing right now? Like, what are they talking about?
Somebody else is doing the hard work of bombing, probably.
This is
during
October
that.
19th. Is that today? What is
Yeah.
today?
That's today.
Oh, this was taken just a few hours ago? They could still be in there right now.
What's your point?
My point is, this is ridiculous. The idea
Okay.
that there's any kind of treaty that Trump did anything, that anybody's getting along, joke. All right?
Yeah.
They bombed again. There'll be another treaty in about 4.5 weeks. They'll bomb again after that. It just, how anybody can take the Middle East seriously at this point, not even the baby boomers can do it. That's my point with this article. Anything you hear about the Middle East, throw it in your oven, turn it up to 350 degrees, and burn your house down. It's a joke. It's a huge joke.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. Real quick, John, go back to the Google Doc and play this Trump clip, because he came out talking about this peace deal earlier this week. It's the second one, the war is over. Because Trump decided the war was over. We're about to hear from the President of the United States on the war between Israel and Gaza and how it's going to be over.
Between Israel and Hamas, over.
War is over. The war is over. Okay, you understand that?
Are you confident that the ceasefire is going to hold?
I think so. I think it's going to hold. Qatar was a tremendous help to getting this done. I hope people can realize that. And it was very tough and very dangerous for Qatar. They were very brave. And
it's like he's running some kind of weird ad for Qatar at the end of this
All right, pause.
interview.
Who's going to attack Qatar? Does anybody know anything about Qatar? It's hot. There's sand. Okay? Qatar is
Oil and
meaningless.
money.
Yeah, but Saudi Arabia, I'm sure they control Qatar somehow. I mean, who cares about Qatar? It's like saying Yemen has got some kind of, it's United States, it's Israel, and it's freaking Iran. That's who's really involved here, okay?
Well, sure.
Plus, didn't
seems to me like he's getting paid to say this. This almost seems like a mid-podcast ad.
didn't they give him a jet?
Yeah,
Was that
they did.
Qatar?
Yeah, wasn't that Qatar? Was that Qatar?
Yeah.
Was that one of those other bullshit Middle Eastern countries?
Yeah, like freaking like Yemen or something.
Or like
Oman.
Bahrain or something? Yeah.
Oman down there.
Right.
Dude, nice pronunciation of that.
Yeah, you got to get a little phlegm in there.
Yeah.
Bahrain.
You sounded like one of them. Yeah, man. I got to worry about you.
Yeah.
You're planting bombs in the back.
Be concerned. I got a bomb in my taint right now.
Okay. That took anything that I was fixing to say right out of my mind. I was gonna say the leader of Hamas. Doesn't he live in Qatar?
I believe so. The CEO, he's not he's the CEO.
That's right.
of
No,
Hamas.
not even. He's the co-founder.
That's right.
Let's-
Yeah, he was the co-founder. That's
Let's
correct.
get it right.
That's
okay,
correct.
so maybe he got involved.
Son of a. All right.
Sorry, that taint comment really threw me off.
That's where they hide the suicide bombs, right up the taint.
Oh, dude, what a joke! And all right, before we move off this, what's the over/under on weeks to a new ceasefire treaty? 6.5.
I'm gonna go like 3. I think it's gonna be sooner rather than later.
I take the over on that because they got to keep the baby boomers invested. It's going to be a
That's
little
true.
longer than that, but it will come back around about Thanksgiving. They'll like break bread. They'll eat a turkey together, Hamas and Israel, and then they'll just do more bombing a week and a half later. And
They'll have another concert where they sing "Sweet Home Jerusalem."
and you know what'll happen during all of that? Sweet Home Jerusalem, dude. That sounds like a good idea. We should write that parody.
Oh, it's already been written, bud.
It has.
We talked about it Tuesday.
Oh, I
Mike
don't know.
Huckabee was over there in Israel doing a concert called "Sweet Home Jerusalem."
Okay. Mike Huckabee is a heck of a bass player.
Yeah, I guess so. He was out there with a yarmulke
Isn't
singing
that-
"Sweet Home Jerusalem" with a
isn't-
bunch of people.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
But
it is,
Isn't
yeah.
he the governor, the former governor of Arkansas, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, he should stick to Woo Pig Suey.
Okay.
I forget you hate our culture and football. That's the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Okay.
You know how we say Go Vols and there's Roll Tide and there's
Yeah.
War Eagle? Woo Pig Suey is Arkansas.
It's not that I hate football. I just could not care any less about it.
No.
It has no effect on my life other than this. This is the only effect it has on my
See,
life.
it does. If you'd have known about it, you would have been able to get that.
I would have been like,
And-
hell yeah,
and
football, America.
That's right, and the flow would have been
And
a
then
little
other
better.
men in our community would recognize me as a man, which they don't currently. They just think I'm a because I don't talk about football.
Well, maybe it has to do with sweaters. That's all I'll say.
I think I pulled this sweater off
I'm
quite nicely.
just saying. How many people you know that wear a sweater?
At least 2 others.
All right. We got really far afield from Mike Huckabee.
We
playing,
did. Mike
playing-
Huckabee. Yeah. Yeah, we listened to that last week. It is an abomination to to Leonard
Yeah.
Skinner.
Yeah. Very sad that happens. And how did you think the people of America paid for that trip?
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
Guarantee it. I guarantee it. But oh well, they just get away with it. Wait, what's he doing anyway? Traveling? The government shut down, dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my next article, John. Let's pull it up.
Same.
Oh, well,
Damn it.
dude, we've done a good job at not having this happen.
Yeah, we really haven't had this happen yet.
So I guess it was bound to happen eventually.
I guess it's true. All right.
Do yours first.
No.
Well, I was just this. Oh, I can't even look at that. John, it's second
John,
one.
stop scrolling so much.
Really hurt my eyes.
He labeled it in a very stupid way, in my opinion.
Senator Mark Kelly on government shutdown. We should be able to wrap this up this week.
Yeah. So first of all, look at that man's face. Does that look like somebody you can trust?
No.
Yeah, just look at it. He looks like some kind of like.
He looks like an evil Disney villain.
Yeah, dude. He mixed with an orc from Lord of the Rings. Like combine.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, combine those two. He's he's almost getting the pointed ears.
He kind of looks like the goblins from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that was probably better from like
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a coffin banger. His brother, what's his brother's name, John? It's also it's not Mark. Scott. His brother is a freaking astronaut. Did you know that?
Oh.
A famous astronaut up
Yeah.
there flying around at billions of Mach 100 billion
My stars.
and watching stuff that happened 600 billion years ago. So there's some connections with NASA to this guy. And look at what he says.
What does he say?
It's in the headline, man. It's going to be over. It's going to be over in a week, man. No big deal. But
It hasn't been a big deal while it was shut down. Whose life is this affected? Can you name me one Can anyone name me one person? Anyone listening, name me one person whose life has been affected by the government shutdown.
it scares me.
Does it scare you?
It
To
scares
make
me,
you nervous?
dude.
Yeah.
What if Ukraine doesn't get enough money?
Dude,
Then Putin will come in and take over the West.
that's true.
And you know what they'll be doing in Ukraine? They'll be outlawing gay marriage. And they will be being based. Look into Russia. They do some based stuff. All right, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing for that Russia take over. Just
Well, where are you
going to
hang your Ukraine flag if Russia takes over Ukraine? How are people going to know that you care about Ukraine? You know, if Ukraine doesn't exist, you can't hang up a Ukraine flag.
Well,
How are people going to know you're a good person?
Yeah, that's not true. Okay, the Confederacy doesn't exist, but I hang one of those flags up. So perhaps the spirit of the Ukrainians can be in.
So you can still hang your flag and
Yeah.
people can know you're a good person.
Yeah, free speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, good grief, man.
Yeah, this government shutdown stuff's been completely
Yeah,
and like we said it does seem to come around like every few years. Like, oh, the federal government can't decide on a budget. Government's going to get shut down.
yeah,
What are we going to do?
I read in this article that it was like the third longest one ever. And then this senator from Alabama's like, the Democrats just need to do the right thing and reopen the government. All right, what God-fearing person from Alabama is going to stand up for that Orwellian doublethink? Doing the right thing and reopening the government in the same sentence.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the anti-federalism of the, it wasn't, I mean, in terms of world timeline, it wasn't that long ago when people had these ideals. I mean, it's been forever in history. But you know what I'm saying, man? Like, what happened to that spirit of state rights, real conservatism? It's just a freaking WWE SmackDown show now.
I don't know where that's gone. The older I get, the more I wonder if it ever existed, like even in our lifetime at all, or even before that. Like this government machine, I feel like it's been too big to stop since our parents were around, much less our grandparents.
I'm just ashamed that even that came from Alabama because they're supposedly on our side. Look at this too. Here's another thing I found in this article. So. Last week, an effort to advance a House-passed measure to fund the government fell short of the 60 votes needed in the Senate for a 10th time. Okay, so it failed again, but go down here, John. Go down. Let's see. Though there have been conversations between lawmakers about how to reopen the government, congressional leaders have not met. So how do they have these votes if they haven't met?
They voted in absentia, right?
Is that what's happening? Are they getting on Zoom and having the Congress?
Probably.
Then why are we spending $20 trillion on the freaking what's the Capitol if they can just do it on Zoom?
Well, that wasn't always the capability. And what if they do need to meet? We need the Capitol there.
I just found that to be ironic that they're having votes 10 times, but in the next paragraph they said they haven't met. So
Yeah.
I can't even follow this. It's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely just like your government. Is Senate even? I guess Senate's not. How does that work for the Senate? Are they in session currently since the government's
That's
shut
what
down?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They
That
say
seems something you would know, John. You get all horny for all the government bullshit sometimes. Can you break that down for me?
I mean, I guess they still will show up and vote. I mean, the only thing they can vote on is a budget, so they'll go and argue that, I guess. I don't know.
I wonder what Marjorie Taylor Greene has to say about all
I
this.
don't
I'd be fascinated.
Trump has only spent an hour negotiating on it. That's called efficiency. That's a man who's looking out for the people, not all this wasted time. In fact, I want him to spend less time. That's probably too much time. But
20 minutes next time.
That's right. But he's in the right direction. Oh my gosh, man. You think they're gonna have like some kind of holiday when it opens back up?
What do you mean?
Like, are the stocks gonna like rise again, and everybody's gonna be just like elated, overjoyed, and they won't even be able to pin. All they'll be able to say is the government is open.
Right.
There won't be
Nothing
any.
will change.
Yeah, they're like, what specifically is going to happen?
All the baby boomers will breathe a massive sigh of relief. You'll be able to hear it in your house. It'll just be a giant from everybody over the age of like 58.
Yeah, and then we'll celebrate America getting together, Republicans and Democrats agreeing to screw over the people again.
Both sides of the aisle coming together like good senators and statesmen should to shove a giant dildo up the ass of the people of America. That's what we do in this Senate.
That's right. Let's be specific. There'll be an $80 trillion deficit, all right? Inflation will rise by like 6%. And
that's good.
Rent will go up. Prices for eggs will go up. And
that's progress.
What else? Well, $1 trillion to Ukraine this time, and we'll celebrate that as the government being open.
Yeah.
All right, I think I made
maybe that's what we should do. Just send more money to Ukraine, and that'll open the government.
But the second-by-second counter on Fox News will go to 0, and that's a good thing.
Is it?
Do they have a second-by-second counter?
Yeah, for how long the government's been shut down.
Is it like the national debt clock?
No, it's literally just a timer that's going up every second since the government's been shut down. It's government shutdown day.
How many seconds has it been, John? Do you have it up?
No. I saw it when I was watching a video on there on YouTube a couple days ago.
That's hilarious. They probably hired like 25 people just to do that. That's how these people waste money. Oh my gosh, man. Fair. I don't know. Let's keep it shut down forever. That'd be kind of nice.
Ron Paul, 2026?
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he just had like his 90th birthday.
Yeah, had his 90th birthday back in August.
Well, man, he foretold many things in the early 2007 and stuff, man.
He did. Back when he was a young buck of 73. Right. He's old as
He's quite old. I mean, Rand Paul's old too. He's probably like 60, right?
Right. Rand Paul's looked old forever, though. He's one of those people that's looked like he was 60 since he was like 30.
Remember when he got attacked?
Rand Paul?
Yeah, that's just like like somebody like broke half of his lungs in his yard.
Broke half of his lungs.
Isn't this right, John? This is just coming back to me. Whatever happened with that? I forgot.
The story was that his neighbor got pissed off over his yard clippings like being over on his property line, so he went and just beat the
Like, how did he get away with that?
I mean, he didn't. He went to. I mean, the dude went to prison.
Why is Rand Paul mowing his yard? I mean, he's probably like ungodly wealthy, lives in a mansion somewhere in Kentucky, has like 25 houses, and he's just out there on a push mower and on like September 9th. I don't believe that for a second, man. And some white trash guy is gonna tackle him and break his ribs.
I think that's the American way. I think if somebody puts clippings on your yard, you deserve to beat the.
I am calling a Jimmy Fallon type incident. No way he trips on his ring. No, there was some. Rand Paul went out of line, and they had to come up with the cover story.
I mean, that would make the most
sense.
Nobody beats somebody up for grass clippings.
Just randomly went into my mind. I was like, oh, yeah, he got attacked.
Is there video for that, or was that before all the Ring camera nonsense?
No, that was back in like 2016, 2017. Okay. It was early.
Yeah. Those weren't as big a thing back then. As much as I hate those, they do catch a lot of just hilarious stuff, typically from ethnic communities.
Yeah, but they've got a Carson.
What?
White is an ethnicity as well. We are also ethnic.
We are.
Don't downplay us.
I'm not. whatever.
They've set up like those Ring cameras, man. They're like an AI surveillance grid. It's like
Oh yeah, no.
it's like
they're
person of
terrifying.
interest. They can find anybody anywhere in real time, dude.
That's why I refuse to put one up in my house. Flat out refuse.
I don't even know how to get one. Do you buy it on Amazon? Do you go to ring.com and buy it? Is that how you get one?
Probably all of those things.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm not going to because I hate computers. But pretty interesting. All right.
Hell yeah.
What was your? I spent like 4 days trying to fix my Venmo. What was your?
So let's move on back to the Google Doc.
Yeah. What was your next?
So we talked about Trump. Trump says the shutdowns. Oh, here's Trump talking about the shutdown. Our fearless leader.
The Republican Party's not going to pay $1.5 trillion to illegal immigrants coming into our country, coming in for a lot of reasons, coming in from prisons, from jails, from all over the place, from Venezuela, many countries. We're not going to do that. So the shutdown continues. It's a Democrat shutdown. It's a Schumer shutdown because his career has failed and it's over. Shutdown continues.
I just love him. Schumer's career has failed and it's over.
Dude,
He's done a terrible job. He's very old.
This video almost looks AI to me.
It's a beautiful sky in the background.
Yeah,
It's
it
gorgeous.
almost doesn't even look real, but I don't know, man. What's the purple regalia tie, man?
It's nice. He's looking good these days. Looking strong.
Yeah,
looking
what
strong
what
as an
happened
ox.
to his like his veins and his like death veins or whatever?
Chronic venous insufficiency, right? Was that what it was? Supposedly
I
had
don't
like
know.
weak veins.
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. He seems to be doing fine. I don't know what the deal is.
So does he just go to Mar-a-Lago when he feels like it?
Yeah.
I guess he can.
If you have a mansion in Florida, why would you spend your time in the White House? Living in the White House seems now that planes are a thing, you know?
Oh, no. What you think? Because of that's a dumb argument. A plane could just as easily fly into Mar-a-Lago.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm talking about like travel, getting from
Oh,
one
I
place to
thought you
another.
meant the threat of a plane.
Oh, no.
No. I was thinking 9/11, man. I was raised right. I was raised properly American. I was thinking immediately of a plane threat.
Them laws running into the White House.
I know you were thinking just because of flight. Yeah, I mean,
you can go wherever you want.
yeah, I'm
in a
sure
couple hours.
his planes has got like bedrooms, multiple
Yeah.
gold toilets.
He has no need for Air Force One either. Like he's a
Yeah,
billionaire.
why don't they call it Trump Force One? I mean,
That's
They
what
probably
That's
will.
what his personal plane is what he calls it.
Trump Force One.
Yeah.
That's gay.
I'm-
That's super gay.
well, I mean, it seemed obvious because I didn't even know that, and just it felt natural. So
What's going on with these like No Kings protests? By the way, have you guys seen those out and about?
well, not out and about, but like
I
on
saw one out and about.
There was one here in Columbia.
downtown
Here?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was probably a couple hundred people
Uh-huh.
down 31.
Towards Main Street. Yeah.
like north or south? Because I was downtown yesterday.
Going north.
Oh, I didn't go that way.
Yeah.
What were they doing? Just chanting?
Just holding
Stand-
up
yeah.
signs.
So what was that going to affect?
No Kings. That affect No Kings. How dare you ask that question about what it's going to affect? You need to go protest No Kings.
All right. Well, I mean, I agree there shouldn't be kings, but
It's the dumbest. So I looked at their website earlier today, and that's really all the material they have, which I feel like that's how a lot of these more stupid movements get put together. Is it's just like very simple language centered around a very simple idea that will grab the attention of people whose IQ moves at the speed of like a Down syndrome paraplegic. And so we use like no kings. Why? Because we shouldn't have kings. Because Trump. That's pretty much what the website says.
yeah, but like
It doesn't make any sense.
What are they trying to
They're
accomplish?
trying to make sure we don't have kings.
Yeah. Okay. So, but don't you have to like start a war for that to happen?
No, they're peaceful. They posted
Okay.
about they're peaceful.
All right. So they're hoping that Congress will see them picketing in the streets and then do something.
I guess that's the idea. Yeah.
Why would they do this during the government shutdown?
Yeah. Right.
There
They
is
also
a-
claimed that Trump tried to have a coronation. Did he try to have a coronation that I just don't remember? Because that would have been hilarious. I
That's
feel like I would have noticed that.
Probably coming in 2028. I mean, let's be real.
Well, they said like Trump tried to have a coronation, but it was stopped because the public didn't like it. I was like, I don't remember anything like that happening.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that some Mandela shit that I just missed, you know?
No idea, dude.
Okay, nobody else heard about that either.
I did not hear about that.
Okay. If you look at their website, it literally lists that as one of their, like, things.
Okay.
Also, Alex Stein, love him or hate him, he crashed a No Kings rally and was walking around calling them all and injured, and that looked like a great time.
No Mings. No Ming Dynasty. That's what John typed in initially. Yeah, Alex Stein. I really have turned on Alex Stein, but he is kind of funny.
He's
but
hilarious.
I don't like him.
Scroll down a good bit, and there are a couple of like cards that discuss. Is it on this page? Yeah, I think it's if you go up to that top thing, John, right there.
Okay.
The world saw the power of the people, and President Trump attempts at a coronation collapsed under the strength of a movement rising against his abuses of power. What are they talking about?
I have no idea.
I have no clue.
There is no way to know if that picture's real or if it's AI. All right, this website looks straight out of like a think tank, government-funded think tank.
It does. Absolutely
Right?
does.
What? And this came
It's
out
so
of nowhere.
bare bones, too. Somebody spent like 4 hours on this.
Yeah, where is that? I think that's Philly. I'm pretty sure that's Philadelphia. It doesn't matter, but if that's Philadelphia, where's all the Eagles stuff? I don't see a single Eagles jersey.
Do you think the kind of people coming out and protesting for this are going to wear an Eagles jersey?
Yeah, probably. The
It's
Eagles,
a bunch of mask-wearing libs.
Oh, that's
Do you think
probably half their
you think
fans.
those are the kind of people that watch football?
Look, all right, I don't want to say this, but you're forcing me to. How many of the darker community are going to be involved in this? Probably a lot. The Philadelphia Eagles fan, a lot of them are of the darker persuasion. I'm just saying there should be a correlation there, and I don't see
That was a
one.
bunch of white people.
I know.
That was a bunch of
That's
that was a bunch of feminine white guys.
in Philadelphia, and I'm suspicious.
I
I'm thinking,
think that the darker community you're referring to would not be out protesting that with all the. I think they're better than that.
well, perhaps. I'm just saying that.
I think this is a bunch of like feminine cucked white guys and fat middle-aged
If
women.
there was a live stream. Oh man, how many views did that? Can we watch the archive live stream?
Why do you want to do that?
Because it would be hilarious. How many?
I just kind of find this bullshit. They claim they had 7 million people show up to this.
Yeah, there's
the
no
YouTube
way.
channel has 14,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Can we see how
So,
many people
ratios
watched
are
the
off.
live stream? I really want to know. That'd be hilarious. If watch it be like 25 people.
The government is
Is that a lightsaber?
How many
Oh,
views does this
dude.
have?
3,000.
Less. Where?
73,000
Yeah, dude.
is the total. So
There's
there
no
was-
way 7 million people showed up to
Yeah.
these protests.
That is like less than 3/4 of the population of this county. And they're claiming this is a nationwide thing.
Yeah.
No, dude, just get CIA all over it.
It's just weird.
Yeah, this reeks of. Hey, wait. Go back to all those logos, John. Dude, the ACLU.
Yeah.
This has got deep state all over it.
Oh, I mean, it's just like when Black Lives Matter became a thing, you know?
Yeah, what was that?
Completely deep state.
There was climate
Incepted.
change in action. And look at all these occult. Probably we can find some really occult crap on here. I don't know. I mean, if this doesn't scream like corporate meritocracy, then I don't know what does.
Gosh. Oh, look at Pride at Work. Ugh.
Oh, good grief!
Look at that.
Planned Parenthood. Oh, Planned Parenthood supports this.
Big surprise.
Yeah. Good grief! Is that? What is that trying? Oh, I thought that was the freaking Space Force for a second. I was
Looks like
have they?
Star Trek.
Have they defected? All right. Well, yeah, just a joke, man.
Wow.
Yep. All right. Bunch of
Oh, yeah.
corporatism.
Yeah. These are a bunch of good organizations supporting a good cause, just trying to make sure we don't have kings. Because that's such a relevant threat to our country.
Well, I mean, to be fair, perhaps they're right, man. I mean,
We'll see.
Perhaps this is just predictive programming.
And I mean, maybe it is, but right now it seems ridiculous
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
completely government funded.
Oh yeah, I mean, 100% it's government
People
funded.
weren't dropping off construction materials at these rallies that I'm aware of, thank heavens.
What? Did that happen?
Yeah, that happened during all the protests during 2020, all the Black Lives Matter stuff. There were, like, weird, like, construction equipment drop-offs near where they were going to have the Black Lives Matter protests. Like, somebody would just come drop off, like, a pallet of bricks few hours before the protest was supposed to happen. Yeah. Just randomly drop off a bunch of construction. Here's a bunch of rebar for no reason. Like, what the you're telling yeah.
That doesn't surprise me at all, man. Yeah, it's just so inorganic. It's obvious. What do the climate defenders do?
They defend the climate.
Are they
the Climate Psychology Alliance? What do you think their goal
is?
Oh,
where's that one? I missed that one.
It's on the top, near the middle.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Of North America. That means there's an Asian one, and they've got a Filipino one.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's an Egyptian one.
Oh, the Egyptian climate psychologist? That sounds like a good name for a band. A real hipster douchebag band, the Egyptian climate psychologist.
Right.
We support Africa with all of our work.
Yeah.
And, like, reopening the Suez Canal.
Why do we need climate psychologists is my question.
To give water to Libyans. Duh. They need it.
How's a psychologist going to give water to Libyans?
Because of science.
This is a organization.
Carson, you don't understand science.
Maybe I don't.
And you don't understand the power of change and grassroots.
And psychology.
Yeah.
And mental health.
Good one.
Mental health's important.
Good one.
Yeah.
And progressive team action. We need that in there, too. I'm sure that's one of these logos.
Progressive initiatives are huge.
Ooh, good word.
Yeah.
Good corporate word.
As long as we're pushing progressive initiatives and, completing key action items to move towards our goals, then we're really succeeding as an organization.
And we're fighting fascists as well at the same time.
Fighting fascists. That'd be a great band name. Fighting fascists.
It probably is. Somewhere.
Yeah. Climate defenders. That looks like Gatorade. That looks like a great. I think we've talked about this all we need to.
We have.
Yeah.
We could just pick apart all of his logos. All right, so we've had a lot of videos of Trump today, and I've got another one.
All right, let's hear it. See it.
This is actually a lot more serious. At least I'm going to try to make it that way.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
And you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven. But go ahead.
You had talked a couple weeks ago. You were doing an interview.
All right, So, we come from a very white Protestant background.
Yeah.
That think Trump is like akin to like an American Jesus. He's going to save us all. He's going to get God's people back on the right track. God.
Who actually thinks that, though?
I mean, that dogma is there, especially in the baby boomers. And in like all of these, I don't know, like probably the like the pro-Israeli Christians, the people that probably this doesn't mean I endorse what happened or love it or anything, but the people that were like probably really hardcore on Charlie Kirk's side and giving him donations, like the big, like old white guys in Texas, those types.
People who love Judeo-Christian values.
Right, a perfect example. Yeah. Anybody who espouses Judeo-Christianity is probably going to think Trump is, and he's just straight up telling you. He's just straight, and there's probably multiple layers of how you can take this. There's the initial theology of, he's done so many bad things. Porn stars, screwed all kinds of people over in business. Lord knows what he's done in secret, and he's just saying because of all his sins, he's not going to go to heaven. And then you can take it, which I don't know. Obviously, that's up to God, but doesn't seem to be like a good guy to me. But anyway, and then you can also take it as like, I kind of take it from my cosmological perspective. Is he's saying, well, he can't get into heaven. Closest he's going to get is flying in this plane. You can't get into heaven. Could take it from that angle as well, because as we're going to allude to in a, is it on Monday? When did
Monday.
Next month, yeah, a week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow.
We're going to go over the history of NASA and how little teaser. They've spent a lot of time trying to get into heaven, at least from the various earliest days of this world. If you look at the Tower of Babel and such, so same thing with Hillary Clinton kind of saying they're going to shatter the glass ceiling, that kind of stuff. He just couldn't be openly admitting that he can't get in. Another revelation of the method, truth hidden in plain sight type thing. Multi-layered, multi-meaning statements. So it was just interesting, at least at the very base, going back to the first thing we talked about, like, how can you as a Christian support that? How can you rationalize in your mind as a Christian, and you've got Trump saying that?
Can you play this again real quick, John?
It's about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven. But go ahead.
I've never been one of those people who think Trump's gonna be our, a new savior to bring the country back to some kind of Christian revival. But this also doesn't seem like some kind of like deeply coded, secretly truth hidden in plain sight type thing. It just seems like Trump talking out of his ass again. And I guess to your point about him, like, he's obviously not a good person. All the people who suddenly, I don't understand this whole concept, especially for, Western Christians here who, like, if anybody behaved the way Trump did in your family or, like, in your local community, you would vilify them and treat them like an outcast. But somehow he's the savior of all mankind now. Yeah. According to a lot of these people. It's a super odd perspective to have for a lot of these old people who are super like legalistic, but when it comes to Trump, it's fine.
I know, dude. It gives me like Antichrist Trojan horse vibes, dude. I mean,
there are people who think Trump is the Antichrist.
It's freaking creepy, dude. I mean, he's also said in the past, like when he was on the campaign trail, that he doesn't ask God for forgiveness. He just doesn't do anything wrong. He said that. And Christians still think he's like appointed by Jesus to lead us into some kind of new, like America is the new God's nation, some kind of craziness. I mean, this guy is a major deception for Christians who might otherwise fight against the influences of Satan. I mean, it's crazy the charisma he has on people who claim to care about like the real issues going on in the world.
Well, what about, to that point, what about all these people who are like, and I can't remember where it says this in the Bible, but it's in the New Testament somewhere where it talks about like the world leaders being appointed by God, and all these people are like, well, because of that, you should follow him. You don't know what I'm talking about? I can't remember where that is.
You're talking
in the New
about
Testament.
Yeah, you're talking about Romans 13. It's
in
Romans 13. Oh, well, yeah, I have made my peace.
What do you think about that?
I absolutely 100% agree with that.
Okay, then explain that in the context of Trump, because you clearly think people should fight against him.
Trump is the president of a corporation that has nothing to do with any...
What, do you think that's true for all world leaders then?
Yeah. Yeah, there is no
So
government.
then what point does that verse have? It just seems oxymoronic to me to say, there's something to that, but also there's not.
Well, we seem to completely forget that Romans was a letter to people in Rome.
Okay.
So at that time, he was speaking about the Roman Empire.
Okay.
There's your answer to the question.
So you think it was just Caesar at the time that he was talking about?
Well, that's applicable, and further governments, yes. But we do not have a government. I do not believe there is a government on the earth. It's all corporations.
So we can just throw that bit out.
Until such a time as a common law government exists, then I would say, yeah, because there's no government to uphold to. I mean, that's how I've made my peace with it. Yeah, you got to obey the government. And the Roman Empire was the government of the freaking land at that time. I mean, a lot of our common law stuff even has its origins in, yeah, I mean, the freaking Romans were brutal, But all this like right to a trial and crap, and this, I mean, this all came from Rome. It's a basis of the common law legal system, from what I understand, right, John? I mean, the English got their stuff from the Romans.
Right.
So
Supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, I support that verse. I just don't think it's applicable right now.
Interesting. I guess I can see the point you're making, but I have a hard time imagining the Roman government as any kind of common law government, because the idea is, like, each and every person has to give their consent to be governed, right, in a common law government, and, you know, agree to the idea of whatever the common law is. You're telling me that was the case in ancient Rome? I don't believe that for a second.
Probably, I mean, we weren't there, but I would wager probably more so than today. Like, seriously, I bet they had more property rights and more rights than we do today.
Sure, but the point is, like, you think every person agreed to the common law of Rome? Every person, you know, was given the, okay, so
but that's why there's
it's a moot point still.
No, it's not. That's why there's a higher trust law of the Bible, dude. That's why you can like tolerate a lot of infringements, because there's a higher law to God.
So as far as I'm concerned, though, based on what we're discussing, the idea that you know, what's the actual? Can we find this verse and read what it says? Because I'm having trouble remembering the exact terminology, and I think that makes this discussion kind of difficult. The way I remember it is like you should essentially follow the laws of your government up to the point that they infringe on your conscience.
I think that's probably a biased interpretation.
That might be a bad paraphrase.
Romans 13.
Yeah, Romans 13. Let's get it in like freaking NSAB or ESAV or NKJV. Not one of these new liberal translations. As old school as we can.
All right.
No, it's in Romans 13. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
give me just a second. I'm pulling
the
it up.
exact verse.
But I guess the way I would think about it, it was either
Shouldn't you pull it up on the
talking
screen,
about
just so we can see it?
it was either talking about something different then, and thus is talking about something different now, or to some degree one should have paid attention to the government then and should also now. I just don't see how both of things can be true, because to the best of my knowledge, and I'm no historian, but I don't think, you know, the Roman government had a whole lot of respect for what the people wanted, you know?
No.
I don't think the Roman government had a ton of respect for common law, based on my understanding. They were just out, you know, taking over a bunch of countries. So I don't see how that applies here.
Well, I think that's multifaceted.
Yeah.
The first thing you said, what was the first thing you said? Because I agreed with that. What was it?
I don't remember.
That Romans didn't have something. I don't remember either. I agreed with it. But as far as Romans didn't have respect for the common law, I would say yes and no. They did if you were a freaking Roman citizen. Freaking Paul himself was a Roman citizen, and they honored those rights.
Well, they murdered a bunch of Roman citizens for being Christians.
That's true.
Correct?
That's true.
Okay.
Again, that's why ecclesiastical law freaking trumps it. That's why I think this verse in the Bible exists. Are we there yet, John?
I've never seen a person struggle
It's
so
just-
hard to pull up a verse.
Just go to Bible Gateway and just type in. Oh, I thought you were fixing to type in something real bad there. Oh, that's so small.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
All right. You're a better rater than me.
All right. So Romans 13, every person is to be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those which exist are established by God. Therefore, whoever resists authority has opposed the ordinance of God, and they who have oppressed will receive condemnation upon them. They who have opposed, and they who have opposed will receive condemnation upon themselves, for rulers are not a cause of fear for good behavior, but for evil. Do you want to have no fear of authority? Do what is good, and you will have praise from the same, for it is a servant of God to you for good. But if you do what is evil, be afraid, for it does not bear the sword for nothing, for it is a servant of God, an avenger who brings wrath on the one who practices evil. Therefore it is necessary to be in subjugation, not only because of wrath, but also for the sake of conscience. For because of this you also pay taxes, for rulers are servants of God, devoting themselves to this very thing. Pay to all what is due them, tax to whom tax is due, custom to whom custom, respect to whom respect, honor to whom honor.
Yeah, it's
We can stop there.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean that's pretty simple.
I mean, I get the idea of this was talking about some kind of legitimate common law government. I just don't see how this would have been the case for Rome. And if it was the case for Rome, then I don't see how it would not be the case now. If it wasn't the case for Rome, then sure, probably isn't the case now. You know, who cares about the government? I just don't see how. You see my issue here?
Yeah, I mean, you're basically saying how is Rome any better than what we have now?
Yes.
So, and that's probably an impossible question to answer.
It is, to be fair.
But I would say, based on my limited knowledge, that they freaking treated their citizens with a lot more respect than this alleged government treats our citizens. Do I know that? No. Kind of get the feeling for that in my limited knowledge of reading the Bible and my studying every male just loves the Roman Empire. A lot of truth to that. It's fun to research. In my limited study of the Roman Empire, that seems to be mostly true, right? If you freaking didn't cause trouble and
You were
just
left alone?
incite rebellion, yeah, you were a Roman citizen, they just left you alone and you could live a peaceful. I mean, they had freaking fast food restaurants in Rome. You could own property. It was mega advanced and orderly for just the savages of Germania who just freaking killed each other with sticks all the time. All right? I mean, these guys had mega complex social structures.
Sure.
So, in that regard, I would say it could have been better than what we have now. Less for the people that were in it. Less screwing the common man over. There could have been a legit Roman dream where you could work your way and achieve things in a society back at that time. Whereas now that's just an illusion. Because we've switched from and it wasn't an illusion in the 1800s to the early 1900s, and then started switch from common law to corporate law. So
Garrison just commented in, I rebuke any Germanic slander.
Well, maybe I should have said Indo-Chinese, okay? We know they're out there screaming around with sticks and poking snakes and stuff. We know that. You're right, Garrison. I never need to go after us Caucasians. So, I was thoroughly rebuked.
God.
So that's my thoughts on that. I mean, no, they're not freaking perfect. Yeah, they violated. That's why there's a higher order than common law, I would say, but I guess my point is I would have rather lived in the Roman Empire than right now, to answer your question. And that
doesn't really answer that question.
And that there is
that's good to know.
That there is no government right now.
Interesting. I mean, I would tend to agree with that, but I just want to make sure things like that hold up to scrutiny, because I feel like it's easy to say, oh, the government now is not the government now is full of gay frogs and trans people, and it's just not legitimate, All
right, full Alex Jones.
And so I feel like it's easy to say that without really examining it appropriately. I think what you're saying makes sense.
Well,
I just like to make sure things like that stand up to actual criticism.
Let's look at verse 7, okay? All right, tax to whom tax is due. Roman taxes. It probably, I don't know this, obviously, because I didn't live 2,000 years ago or however allegedly long ago it was.
Yeah.
But they probably legitimately used taxes to build roads.
Right.
Probably did that. They probably used taxes to pay centurions or pay legions to stop the hordes of barbarians from coming into your town if you're living in Gaul.
I get the idea. Right?
They probably legitimately used the taxes they took for actual things. All right? So, as Jesus said, give to Caesar
what is Caesar.
What is Caesar's.
What is God,
yeah. Do we owe United States in all caps corporation taxes? They have illegitimate authority. It's a fiction. It's a dead body. We don't owe them any taxes because they're not due any taxes. You see what I'm trying to say there? John, go down a little bit. Let's read the rest of verse 7 because Carson wants to stand up to criticism. I'm trying to make an argument for it. Right, custom to whom custom is due. I guess that's just like tariffs. I don't know. I ain't no expert in languages. I would say that's a tariff. Respect to who respect. Again, like the whole real people thing. You could go probably I don't know, through probably a bunch of process, like talk to the praetor of whatever city you're in or whatever province you're in, you know. Freaking Pilate would have audience with his people. Kings would listen to people in their courts.
Yeah.
I mean, under common law, they're not like probably all great guys. They probably are beheading people for no reason, but at least it's more like, you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas now,
yeah, I get the picture you're trying to
respect
paint.
to whom respect. Can you respect a piece of paper? You got to define everything, dude.
Yeah,
It's dead bodies. So
I get the point you're making.
You just don't like it, or
It's
don't agree
a
with
lot
it?
of conjecture and assumption. I'm aware.
What am I
said
assuming?
a million times that, hey, I'm not sure, but I think this is what it was probably like.
Yeah.
And so it's, to be fair, it's impossible to really know. And insofar as the United States government is a corporation and not an actual like living entity, I see your point that it's not a legitimate government, thus doesn't deserve anyone's respect.
Yeah, therefore,
but I have a hard time imagining, if you think the Bible is the inspired word, right, that there's gonna be that much like trickery involved. I tend to think if the Bible is like, here's plain English that the common man can understand, and it's just going to make sense. You're not going to have to spend, you're not going to have to go take a higher level law course to figure out whether or not your government's legitimate. You're just going to be able to act on what's in here.
Pause. Can we pause that? Bunch of things. Number one, you said the word Bible. Look at
to be fair, there are no instructions for a Bible.
Look at your 66 books. You will not find that word in there. Number two.
Whatever, inspired word, whatever you want to say.
Scriptures.
Like, if you're going to say that it's inspired, my assumption would be like you're not going to have to take a higher level law course to figure out whether or not you can apply it to your daily life.
Okay, perhaps.
That's a little ridiculous to me.
Well, then perhaps that's a ridiculous assumption, because if you read the Scriptures, there's a certain entity in there that is the father of lies and a massive trickster who has an entire army of tricksters with him who can screw with it. There within lies the difficulty. You can't kill them. Does that not satisfy your complaint there? Perhaps he screwed with it, made it harder. Can't kill the message, but he's
screwed with the Bible or screwed with the way things present themselves.
But well, I mean, you could argue that's
because
the same.
That's another issue with the way that most people like to think about the Bible as it stands today, because people think, I'm getting onto another point here. But there's this overarching idea of like, well, this collection is the inspired word. It's immutable. It's unchangeable. And like, where did that concept come from?
Yeah, you could say that.
Do you think that's a satanic concept?
I'm trying to say that. Yeah, you could say that the Bible and the way things present themselves are the same thing, a deception of the deceiver.
Oh, I mean, that would change a lot about the way all of Western Christianity functions.
Yeah, it would. And then notice how similar to Western Christianity looks like the world, man.
Yeah.
I mean, where are we being reviled and persecuted for his name's sake? No, we should be.
Yeah, there is a point to that, because it's like if you look at, the followers of Jesus, of the early followers of Jesus, all of his disciples, they were all murdered for their message,
And didn't have a Bible.
Yeah, so there is he does have a little bit of a point there.
Right. The ideas.
I'm just trying to get to it.
The ideals and the unification of the early Christian fathers, both of the apostles and like people like Polycarp and freaking that gets into names I can't pronounce real fast, but Clement of Alexandria, I believe, is one.
It's not hard.
Because then it gets into like Archelaus and like this freaking Greek stuff, and it's just like, man, why can't we be John Smith? I can say Matthew, Mark, and John. I like that kind of stuff. But anyway, the apostles and the subsequent teachers of them, they didn't have no Bible.
No, yeah.
They were Christians, and the reasons they were Christians is because they believed that Jesus Christ was the Messiah promised from the Torah, and he rose from the dead. That's what you need. You don't need a Bible to be a Christian.
Sure.
Right? And we have replaced Jesus with God's Word, right? With this kind of idea of the, this, I don't know. I'm no Greek guy, but there's a lot of, that logos idea that Jesus is the Bible somehow because of John 1.
Yeah.
Very confusing. That doesn't make any sense because no Bible existed then, and we're just going to leave it up to this random council in the 300s to decide what books get in. No, the idea, what makes us Christians is, our unified, the unified like message of Jesus Christ. It's not the Bible. We read about that in the Bible, but the Bible is not what makes us Christians. All right, and Satan has tremendous power, tremendous influence, and has potentially, much more
Just
taken.
say it. What are you trying to say?
No, I'm trying to think of much more taken away than added to it. Although has added to it in forms of literal translations.
Added to what are you talking about?
The Bible.
Okay.
Right. I think there's a much bigger thing where stuff is missing than stuff being added to it. But I think stuff has been added in forms of literal translations.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you don't think that's real, then you ain't reading the thing. Like, to be set in stone on this book, we don't read about the book in the book, is a huge problem, a huge logical fallacy, and something that modern Christians ignore. And it can be tied to directly to stuff like this, where we're just getting dogma out of our buttholes because we don't understand anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I mean, all Scripture is given by inspiration of God, not all Bible.
Yeah.
Paul didn't have a Bible to say that with. That makes no sense. How could Paul say the Bible is the inspired word of God when there was no Bible when he was writing that to Timothy? It's just basic logic.
That's why we play devil's advocate, to get that out of people.
Well, okay. So you don't actually believe that? Well, so what do you think then? Once again, you're a master at not saying what you think about the whole Romans 13 issue.
I have always been under the assumption that whatever authority this is talking about is not the government we have today. I thought that as a kid and didn't understand why. Because it's obvious that the government we have, I think, is not any kind of legitimate entity.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to, I honestly don't think you need an advanced law degree to figure that out. Like, there is that whole, like, Brandon Joe Williams course about, like, you know, hey, the government's actually a corporation. But if you just sit and listen to the news, or you go out and literally talk to people about just the government, you can see very quickly that it's really just a facade and a power grab. That's all this thing is. And so to say for all these people, all these alleged Christians out there, now, well, you better respect the authority of the government because it says so in the Bible. I don't think that's the case at all as far as what they're saying is concerned. I think you need to respect legitimate authority, but concerning the United States government, I don't think there's any legitimate authority there.
Yeah, you absolutely, dude. Yes, you absolutely need to respect the government and the legitimate authority. The problem is there is no government.
Yeah.
There is no legitimate authority.
All right.
What we have is a shade of the United States that we were taught in civics, in government, in high school, and middle school, and all that, and social studies. That does not exist. If you believe history, it has not existed since 1861. Okay, if it potentially never existed, but the idea that there's this Congress that operates by the Constitution does not exist. There is a corporation, done in Broad Street number, EIN number, board of directors, in all caps. That is masquerading a dead body. It's a dead body presenting itself to public. It's literally what corporation means. Is masquerading as a common law government of God, like a common law government like issued by the creations of God, by men, right? It's not a government.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. There is no government to submit to. This verse, quite frankly, is irrelevant right now because we have no government to submit to.
Well, and even past that, you were talking about the legitimacy of the Bible, and there are no directions for a Bible. There are no instructions for a Bible. How do we know what's inspired is inspired? What they had, these people we read about, what they had was word of mouth, a belief in Jesus as the Savior who rose from the dead, and a way of life, a way of loving people, a way of caring for other people, a way of devoting their lives to God. Maybe this is controversial. I don't know how much that has to do with this book.
Well, where I'd push back against that is you read about it in this book.
Which is nice. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, like, why do...
What are you trying to say?
I like having the book. I think people talking about this stuff is a lot better and a lot more powerful than the book.
Well, you have to go. I can't. I'm missing book, chapter, verse, but it's God originally spoke to the prophets, and now He speaks through His Son. That's the base there.
Yeah, and
and in terms of the book, and you talk about inspiration, right? I think you have to challenge a little bit of what that word means.
Yeah.
Because we don't do that, and especially in Protestant church, we don't do that at all. Is like I always I've started to take the term inspiration. Right, it means God breathed. That's where it comes from in Greek. That is basically the same concept as how God gives life to man. Right, you see in Genesis, God breathed life into Adam, and I guess you can go back as that kind of gets to that's what God speaking is.
That's ruach in Hebrew,
right?
Spirit.
And that kind of gets to the idea that we are all inspired by God. Because our life comes from the breath of God, right? We all have inspiration.
I've lost track of the point you're trying to make, John.
Well, because it's like,
Did you
Kind of. I mean, I think he's trying to say like we are. If you're a Christian and a believer, you are kind of Scripture. You know, is that what you're like?
I'm just saying, it's like we
Sounds
are
very new
all,
age for you.
we are all inspired, right? I don't necessarily know if inspiration means in the way that we think of inspiration is taught in like Protestant church tradition as like God sat down, wrote on a piece of paper, like took over somebody's brain and just wrote on.
That is the way they talk about it.
That's the way they talk about it. I'm trying to challenge that idea.
Dude.
I don't think that's what that means.
Let's
fair enough.
Yeah, let's break it down as conservative as we can, because that's always the safest way to do things, right? Would you agree?
It depends. Let's give it a go.
Let's just take the better safe than sorry mantra. Okay? Would you agree that's conservatism in a nutshell? Better safe than sorry.
Sure.
Get as close to what we're trying to do as we can.
All right.
Least amount of assumption. Christianity are people who follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. Okay? I'm going somewhere with this. You sound like you just had enough of it already. Anyway.
It was awfully dramatic. No, I was just listening.
Maybe it's the sunglasses.
The sunglasses don't help.
I
your
think it might be the
expressions
sunglasses.
Sometime I kind of got what he was saying.
Anyway.
Jeez.
You seem like, oh, man, I've had enough of this.
I was just waiting for you to go on.
All right. So Christianity, people who follow the teachings of Jesus. How did Jesus say you're going to know?
By their fruit.
Exactly. Not by if you do everything that 1 Corinthians says.
Yeah.
Or that you like perfectly interpret the doctrine and make sure that you've got all your theology perfectly right. You're going to know you're Christians by your fruit.
That's the point I was trying to make earlier, is this idea of the Bible is the thing. That's not the thing. The thing is the way of life. That's the thing.
Yes.
And people talk about the Bible like it's the thing. Kind of like what you were saying, John. It's almost like there was this like checklist for all of these books, and some people were able to write down and say, yep, it checks this box, it checks this box, it checks this box. And I don't think that's the case at all. Don't get me wrong. I love the Bible, passionate about it. But this concept of it being the core of Christianity, the core of this way of life, I think is a little backwards. Because the way of life is the core of the way of life. Does that make sense?
The Bible's a history book.
The actual stuff that Jesus talked about, and the tradition that hopefully has, at least in some way, shape, or form, been passed on from whenever he was on this earth. I have a hard time believing like the mainstream timeline if it was exactly 2,000 years ago, but like that would be the core of this thing. And I do like, why 66 seems like an odd number for, you know, if you've looked into any level of numerology, like that's an odd number of books to have. So yeah, that's my only point regarding that is I don't think the Bible's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it is. But I am saying cautioning, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because it's not like, you know, God turning people into robots to write it doesn't mean it doesn't have usefulness and a guidance. I mean, it's a freaking like it's a history book. It's a literal history book of humanity's journey, the truth of up until it was stopped recording. Okay?
Yeah, no, I'm not debating that at all. I think that's the other thing that always bothers me about that is anytime I do say that, people are like, well, yeah, but don't throw it out. I'm like, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying maybe it's not the thing to be focused on the most. But people seem to freak out whenever I say that. Oh, don't be careful now.
So what?
Be careful.
So what?
And that I don't know why, but that does grate on my last nerve when people do that.
So what are you suggesting then? Like, I'm not sure what your point is then. What should we do with this verse because of your newfound view?
Well, it's not newfound by any
Or
stretch
because
of
of
the imagination.
your, like...
I was making a point separate and apart from this verse.
What?
Sorry, I need to catch up. We've been having a lot of chat. Nick said not even just a historical book, but a future as well.
No, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at like Revelation and some of that
Well,
stuff.
I guess
there's prophecy in that.
I was kind of meaning
Yeah.
we are still in history, I guess is what I meant. Just
Yeah.
like a timeline book, a narrative. But
yeah, and then I missed something of Garrison. Jesus came to establish the church, not the scripture. Jesus quotes from the scripture because they were his words. The truth in the gospel would have been and was spread by word, kept whole and true through the tradition of the church.
I mean, yeah, he's
I like that.
perfectly
Yeah.
right there.
I think that's well phrased.
I mean, and that's what. Think about it, dude. That's what these freaking letters are, really. It's like the tradition of these people that both interacted with Jesus and then like interacted with people that interacted with Jesus is really what it is. And just like telling other people about that.
Yeah.
How do we get the idea that God took over their brains for that?
Because that's the way it's taught. That is legitimately the way people talk about it. When people growing up at church talked about the inspired word, the way they made it sound was like Paul had a small seizure one night, and in so doing, his body was taken over, and he wrote Corinthians. Like that is the way they make it sound.
Yeah, it's so dumb because that is so dumb when you think about it. Because freaking 1 Corinthians, he mentions about writing the Corinthians earlier.
Yeah.
So what was God was like? Well, Paul got a little drunk on 0 Corinthians, so that's not going to make it. But what he wrote in 1 Corinthians, I took over. And were Corinthians being like, hey, 0 Corinthians sounds like Paul, but this 1 Corinthians, I mean, good grief, I mean, Jesus wrote 1
Corinthians is a series of correspondence where we only have 2 letters from, right? Paul wrote at least, I think, 2, because I think he wrote a letter in between 1st and 2nd Corinthians.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Well,
there was for sure one before.
So we got 1.5 Corinthians, too.
In 1 Corinthians, they wrote to him. He writes back, and he references that correspondence, but there's another correspondence in between 1st and 2nd Corinthians that's 2 or 3 letters that we don't have.
All right, so we got 2nd and 4th Corinthians.
There's a bunch of Corinthians both on their side and Paul's side that we don't have access to.
The whole point is Christianity follows the teachings of Jesus. That's where the authority comes from. That's where if you're going to have dogma, which I mean you shouldn't, but if you're going to like make up rules, I guess that's what you should be doing it from. Yeah. And the trouble is, and this is probably the core of the issue, I think, is that is mega radical and mega scary, because Jesus said some crazy things.
He did,
and if you come up with this legalistic doctrine of like teachings or whatever, and rules from the letters and make this Bible this rule book or this moral authority book, then it's easy to abscond from the things that Jesus actually said, and it's easy to feel good about yourself, and go to church and like give your $100 or whatever and learn about your Bible class and give your money to Israel, and to actually like not face what Jesus actually says, which was be radically different from the world, both in like thoughts and action, right? Sermon on the Mount type stuff.
Yeah.
Give up everything you own, completely change your behavior, but always be in the truth, right? That's what's so crazy to me, and probably what I struggle with the most is, man, those freaking Peter, Paul, all the early guys, man, they never once backed down from the truth, but at the exact same, which is bold, courageous, and like mega power, but at the exact same time, they never once got violent. I'm talking like post Pentecost. Peter chopped a guy's ears off.
I was gonna say
after Pentecost. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know that they never got violent.
Well, at least
it's not like all of their actions are recorded.
Well, from what it appears, they took their punishment and just died while boldly speaking the truth the whole way, and that's a kind of courage that's just like, I don't even understand that, because it like goes against everything that's programmed in you.
I mean,
but it lines up with what Jesus says, right? I mean, he told the apostles.
It is a pretty pacifist doctrine.
Yeah. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's pacifist, but not cowardice, because they're speaking They're speaking. I mean, they're living out what Jesus
also
said.
says he comes to bring a sword, though.
Yeah, but did he actually mean it, or was he talking like in a metaphor of, hey, what I'm going to say is going to be so?
I mean, maybe, but you like to be literal, so how about you?
Well, I mean,
talk to me in the literal
so
sense.
you're allowed to be devil's advocate, and I can't.
Yeah. That's how
Here's
that works.
another thing. He probably did bring a sword if we're talking preterism, and he freaking killed everybody in 70 AD when he came back, and he reigned for 1,000 years, and then he went up and we're in the little season. So he could have been meaning both.
Yeah. I mean, he did bring a whip once.
Yeah,
did.
That ain't a sword.
Well, I have a hard time believing that the Bible does preach an entirely passive. It does seem like the apostles were very peaceful for the majority of, what happened to them, but
the problem is all the freaking satanic deception, dude. I mean, there's just so much we don't know.
It's easy to get lost in that too. Like, we can talk about that ad nauseum pretty much because we don't know.
Yeah, so that's why we got to go off. That's why there's a little bit of intuition as well. I mean, we don't know how we will react until we react. We can only do so much preparing. We need to stay humble. We need to stay in a high vibration as close to the natural order as we can. Do our best to do what Jesus has said. Treat people with... I mean, we know intuitively how to treat people. It's in our freaking... how we're wired. That's what moral agency is. It's reflections of our Creator, So we know what we need to do, and you absolutely hate speculating, and I kind of get it. I mean, but there's stuff we don't have to speculate about, is my point. And then we can speculate on top of that for what good that's worth. I don't know. We can debate that forever. But we know how we need to we know how we need to act in terms of day-to-day life. And as far as these
I'll give you the fact that intuition's a thing, yeah.
But as far as these grand, like, overarching things that are coming in society, I mean, first of all, it could all be a deception. They could be trolling us and trying to play out Revelation, and it could be nothing. It could be a big old nothing burger. But if it is if it is filling out what's in Revelation, I mean, freaking...
You're starting to lose me here. What are you talking about?
Two options here.
I'm following.
The overarching evil of the world that is plain to anybody with objective intelligence quotient higher than freaking nothing, right? Can see there's an evil system in the world that hates us.
Okay.
You agree with that?
Yep.
That evil system of the world has a goal. It is trying to push us as humans, us as the creations of God, in a certain direction. Call that direction X. Okay. All right. What is X? We got no idea. We got the way I see it. We've got but really two options. It's either one, that X is going to be the events described in Revelation because it is destiny and fate of the Almighty Creator of this world, or two, the stuff in Revelation has already happened, and whatever's happening now, they are trying to mimic that to deceive. They're trying to mimic stuff that's already happened to make it look like Revelation to deceive people for whatever reason, for why reason. Mm-hmm. Don't freaking know. Okay? If it's X, basically not to just throw our swords up, but I mean, what else you going to do? God's got this.
Yeah.
If it's Y, just keep going in our what we know to do on a day-to-day basis, and Y will not, affect you, basically.
Okay.
Does that make any sense at all?
I think kind of, yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have much to add to that. I mean, that's a fair point. I don't know which of those I think is actually the case.
Yeah. Only time can tell, right?
And I do wonder about, like, the ramp up of all this, like, AI and alien stuff, as far as the idea of, like, trying to either repeat what happened in Revelation or mimic it or what,
Or
like,
it is Revelation.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know which it is. And if it's faked, like, I feel like it's going to look pretty real.
Yeah,
seem pretty real.
Revelation isn't completely over. We're somewhere in there. But think of the words of Jesus, man. Be sober. Be vigilant. I mean, how many aren't they? They're trying to stop that at all costs, right? Because to me, that means self-reflection. That means objective analysis. That means, that. And the modern society, I hate when we freaking personify modern society. Satan, who is the leader of modern society and from which it all comes down, is trying to get us all to not self-reflect, to not objectively analyze anything, to operate in a low vibrational emotional state, constant fight or flight mode, and to basically invite demons to take control of our lives because we're at such a low helper frequency and so disconnected from the image of God that's in all of us. Right?
Yeah.
And God's just chilling up there waiting for the time, because Jesus says himself, only the Father knows the time, right? And he's given us, and this is, again, where the scriptures had value, man, because we hear the words of his Son, Jesus is God's Son. Whether he is God the Son is a whole different discussion. Still ain't made my mind up about that, but he 100% is God's Son. So God's sons came down here and told us all this stuff, right? So that's another value of the Bible, because we can read that. And he's told us. He's freaking told us, man. He's told us what we need to do. And I just think, like, the apostles went through the same freaking thing. And almost in a way, I mean, it's harder for us because we don't have him here, that we at least can see. Perhaps he is here. I don't really understand that. I mean, he went up on a cloud. I guess you could come back down on a cloud at some point.
Anyway.
I'm not sure where I was going with. I just got off on a little tangent.
All right.
But I don't know. I mean, you haven't given any thoughts. You just said, like, all
You've
right,
been talking
okay.
for a minute.
Well, feel free to.
What do you want me to do? Just interrupt you and tell you to shut the up? Like, what do you want from me?
I don't know. Just say what you think. Give your opinion.
What
What do you think about what I said?
You have said a lot in the last 5 minutes. Can
you only listen to a paragraph at a time? I mean, how can I better accommodate you?
I don't know. It's getting so... I feel like it's getting more and more... I feel like the lies are getting better over time sometimes. Even as, like, ridiculous as the news gets, I feel like it becomes more and more difficult to discern truth from reality some days. Truth from reality. To discern lies from reality some days. But as far as figuring out what direction to go, if the Bible's been messed with at all, because a lot of people say it has, a lot of people say it, some people like to say it hasn't. Personally, I think the idea of it being messed with is scary, because you're talking about one of, if not the only, like, external thing that exists to corroborate what your intuition is telling you outside of your own intuition. And so the idea of the actual text of the inspired word of God being tampered with by, which I think is possible. Don't get me wrong. I honestly think it is for a 66-book Bible, because I don't think, like 77 would make sense, 12 would make sense, 44 would make sense, 66 is odd. I think that's scary, because that would, the Bible, some kind of external thing to corroborate whatever your intuition is telling you, to corroborate, like, the word of the way that people are passing around. Without that, what other external, yardstick do you have? And for me, that's kind of scary, because I like having that safety net almost, and coming to the conclusion that maybe the Bible wasn't the thing was a very difficult, like, realization for me. And I guess it was the middle of college when I was like, oh, maybe that's not the actual thing we need to be focused on. I lost track of what point you made that I was going to respond to now. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I mean, I'll just sum up my thoughts on that, on the idea that the only external thing, has been messed with is scary. I mean, yeah, that's a scary idea. But the reason I'd push back against that, because, and I've said this 1 trillion times to you and on this podcast, I'm sure, we see objectively, and unless you get, like, freaking shot with LSD darts, we see objectively that the system hates its message. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I mean, I get your point, but
So that's how you still know its authority and its validity. It still hates it. As long as it still freaking despises what's in there, mocks what's in there, and you know you're still on the right track. And they can't freaking take that from you unless they kill you or like destroy or screw up your brain somehow. And they're probably trying to do that. I mean, with all these chemtrails and pills, I mean, they cannot directly take that from him. And that's why I believe in the Bible, man. So they freaking hate it.
yeah. All right, fair enough.
I mean, do you consider that at least somewhat valid response to your question? I mean, if there was a,
there's certainly no other way of life that's under attack the same way it appears Christianity is, at least here in the West. I don't know how true that is, in other maybe like in India they really hate Muslims or whatever. I don't know.
But think about
yeah.
Just think about how like they mock and invert everything about it, dude. Like, I'll give you one quick example: the moon landing, man. I said Jesus Christ has 12 apostles. Okay, Apollo. I have seen where the synagogue of Satan in Pergamum, and in Revelation 2 verse 9 was like an actual place where it's like a temple to freaking Zeus, who everybody thought was Satan. And like. They named this mission to the moon, whereas the Bible calls it a light, that it's the same as the sun. So right off the face, the model is completely different from what the Bible describes. They send a mission to the moon where only 12 people have allegedly either been on the moon or been set to go to the moon. I can't remember which one. Like 12 people, 12 astronauts in the Apollo mission. Okay, and they had their freaking own betrayer, Gus Grisham of Apollo 1. Right, where he was like, "This is crap. We're not just going to take like 25 years to get here at least, and nobody wanted to hear that because Kennedy obviously said, "We're going to go to the moon in this decade, not because of, that famous speech."
Not because it's easy.
Why can't he just say decade like a normal person? Because he's a coffin banging demon. That's why. Why do we venerate Kennedy so much? He can't even say decade. Anyway, so there's an inversion in there of the 12 disciples of Christ to the 12 disciples of Apollo. You've got 9/11, critical analysis of Jesus' birthday through the Revelation 12 and through like the sky does the same thing over and over and over and over again. Very predictable ad infinitum. The only time it's ever been different is like when Joshua prayed to God and he was that it wasn't AI. It doesn't matter. Sometime in Joshua, God stopped the sun for a little bit.
Yeah. I can't remember where that was.
Dude, how long was that? Because I'm wondering if it's like, it doesn't matter. I'm wondering if it equals out to the 3 hours of darkness at Jesus' resurrection as a net.
Net zero?
Yeah, might have been longer than 3 hours. Anyway, it's not the point. You can calculate, and Michael Heiser's done this. Garrison, shout out to you. You know Michael Heiser. He's dead now, but you know of what I'm talking about and of his work. That Jesus was born on 9/11/3 BC. Well, freaking 9/11, 2001. You can add the 2 and the 1 together to get 3. Who knows what the real timeline is? The Antichrist's birth. Revelation 9/11. Abaddon. Open the pit. The key to the bottomless pit is given to Abaddon, one of the 3 angels mentioned in the Bible. What do they do on that memorial? It looks like a black Saturn cube, bottomless pit. I mean, stuff like that all over the place. Mockery of the Bible, inversions of the messages of the Bible. That's how you know they hate it, dude. That's how you know they hate it. I mean, even the idea of the Trinity could potentially be like, the unholy Trinity of what is it, John? Probably Osiris, Isis, and freaking another one. There's this idea in pagan mythology that there's these unholy trinities that have gone by. They're essentially fallen angels that go by all kinds of different names, and that could be the adding to of the Bible. Through liberal interpretations is where they could add to. So the point is, they hate the message. They're trying to pervert the message in any way possible, but we still got the message, and that potentially they're not allowed to destroy that.
Well, I don't think that would be. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, Jesus essentially
Yeah.
almost says that that's going to happen, right? That there will be deceptions that even the elect fall for. He says that in Matthew 24. So,
All right. Well, we're getting close to time to need to cut this off, I believe.
yeah, Robert's got to go here.
Yeah.
In like
Yeah,
20
I gotta
minutes,
leave.
so-
So, I'd like for this to keep going, but we need to send you on your merry way,
Mm-hmm.
sweetie pie. So to be continued, folks. Maybe we'll have just more of these religious-focused discussions moving forward. I
Yeah,
think
this
that
was
would be.
on the news episode, but
Yeah.
it derailed into better.
Sometimes
probably.
things change.
So that's good.
Thank you, Nick and Garrison, and whoever else was listening.
Yeah,
Greatly.
JC was in the chat. I missed him, and I have figured out how to do Rumble raids. It was not as difficult as I
you
was
made
making
it out to be. Yeah.
Nobody that we are following is live right now, so if someone is live on Tuesday, I will raid them because I know how to do it.
I'm proud of you, John.
So,
Well, folks, thanks for listening. We'll be back live this coming Tuesday around 6:30ish. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. If you want to support the show, you can support us by liking and following us, first and foremost. Second, you can always drop a few bucks at the PayPal or subscribe to us on Patreon. More exclusive content there to come soon. We're on all the socials. Anything I'm missing, fellas? Next
No,
Monday,
pretty good.
History of NASA.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there'll probably be a news stream next Sunday. No, it won't. No, there won't.
No.
No.
Next
Never
Monday,
mind. Yeah,
History of
next
NASA.
Monday. Sorry.
You're doing great, John.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row.
I don't even have the schedule in front of me. And
I don't either. That's 2 in a row where I've up when we're doing stuff. But
You're doing great.
I corrected myself this time.
You did.
All right, I got a PPO and I got to leave. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Catch y'all next time. Bye.